The car market isn't just cooling off, it's in free fall. Repossessions are skyrocketing. Dealership showrooms feel deserted, while their lots are overflowing. Even brand new vehicles are becoming financial traps. This meltdown is chaotic, loud, and hitting consumers right where it hurts, their wallets. Let's start with the visible warning signs. 15. Cars are becoming unaffordable. Car prices have reached absurd levels, far beyond what average Americans can manage. A decade ago, a $100,000 annual income could comfortably cover a house, a car, and savings. Today, that same income might not even get you a new luxury vehicle. Take the Range Rover Sport A, starting at $114,600 after taxes and fees. That's a 41% jump from 2016. Government mandates like airbags, backup cameras, and emissions controls have raised manufacturing costs, which are passed on to the consumer. Combine that with stagnant wages and rising living expenses, food, housing, insurance, and it's clear why people are walking away from the car market. Even basic sedans now come equipped with high-tech features that increase sticker prices dramatically. The average transaction price for new vehicles has exceeded $48,000, which used to be luxury car territory. Leasing isn't the solution either. Monthly lease payments have also surged. As a result, more drivers are holding on to older vehicles, leading to an aging fleet across the country. The used car market, once a reliable alternative, isn't much better. Rising costs are forcing buyers to downsize, delay purchases, or consider unreliable options. Depreciation is another killer. New vehicles can lose 20 to 30% of their value within the first year. Add maintenance, insurance, and fuel, and the total cost of ownership becomes overwhelming. Even those who stretch financially to buy end up struggling to maintain. This affordability crisis has pushed many toward public transport or rideshare options instead of ownership. 14. Insurance premiums are crushing budgets. Insurance rates have surged nearly 46% since late 2021, with no signs of slowing. Drivers are now shelling out over $2,000 annually, even with clean driving records, leaving fewer options and less competition. Premiums are increasingly tied to vehicle make and model, so flashy cars with high-tech features bring steep penalties. Young drivers are particularly impacted, often paying over $4,000 annually. It's a growing financial burden that's making car ownership less attractive. People are now choosing to drive uninsured, a dangerous trend that could lead to broader consequences. Safe driver discounts, once a relief, now barely make a dent. Even bundling auto with home insurance offers limited savings. Telematics programs can help, but constant monitoring isn't for everyone. Insurance shopping has become an exhausting process, one more stressor in an already tense buying journey. If you haven't tried getting a car loan recently, brace yourself. Interest rates are higher than they've been in 20+ years. Buyers in 2025 face average rates of 7.4% for new cars and a shocking 11.2% for used ones. Even with excellent credit, rates are punishing. The result? A $30,000 car might cost $45,000 by the time the loan is paid off. Even high-end trucks and SUVs over $60,000 are sitting unsold for over 200 days. Dealers are hiding the slowdown by keeping fewer cars in the showroom to give an illusion of high turnover. Some dealerships have resorted to creative staging tactics, rotating cars daily to make movement seem brisk. In reality, many lots are receiving vehicles faster than they're selling them. 11. Huge discounts, still no takers. Massive markdowns are everywhere. $10,000 or more off MSRP, 0% financing offers, cashback deals. A few years ago, buyers would have lined up. Now, silence. Trust is gone. Shoppers remember past markups and hidden fees. They're wary of diving into deals that still feel overpriced due to rising insurance, interest, and depreciation. Many buyers are stuck with cars bought during the pandemic at inflated prices, making it impossible to trade in. Some dealerships are offering extended warranties, service plans, and even free maintenance for a year, Still, no movement. Consumers are more cautious, researching vehicles thoroughly before stepping onto the lot. Online forums and social media amplify horror stories of poor deals and buyer's remorse. 10. Repossession rates are climbing fast. Banks are taking back cars at alarming rates. And it's not just low-credit borrowers, people with decent incomes and credit scores are defaulting. Car payments are historically high, and many loans were taken at bad interest rates. Now, with car values plunging, buyers are underwater. Repos are up 23% in a year. Late-model vehicles like Teslas and Dodge Chargers are being towed. The repo surge creates a vicious cycle. More used inventory, faster depreciation, more defaults. Many of these repossessed vehicles are then auctioned off at steep discounts, creating pricing pressure across the market. Families are losing primary transportation, which further affects employment and mobility. Banks are now tightening loan criteria, making future approvals harder. 9. Loan denials are freezing the market. Loan rejection rates are hitting record highs. 1 in 5 car loan applications is now denied. That's a startling statistic, and it doesn't just impact people with poor credit. Even those with decent financial histories are being turned away. The reason? Lenders are getting cold feet. With repossessions and defaults on the rise, banks are tightening their lending standards. They're demanding higher credit scores, larger down payments, and shorter loan terms, making it harder than ever for consumers to qualify. This surge in denials means many would-be buyers are stuck with their old vehicles, reliable or not. The effect is a market slowdown that's hard to miss. Shoppers may spend hours picking out a car and negotiating, only to hit a wall during the financing process. It's not just disappointing for buyers, it's devastating for dealers sitting on inventory that no one can afford. The freeze in financing is another major reason the auto market is in deep trouble. 8. Used car values are in free fall. Just a few years ago, used cars were selling for more than new ones, a bizarre twist caused by supply shortages and high demand. But now, the bottom has fallen out. In the first half of 2025, many used vehicles have lost between 25% and 35% of their value. That kind of depreciation is faster than what we saw during the 2008 financial crisis. Why? Because dealers overpaid for cars at auction, and consumers overpaid during the shortage. Now, with interest rates climbing and demand falling, the entire used market is collapsing. Take a 2022 Ford Edge, for example. It may have sold for $38,000 last year, but it's worth only $25,000 today. That's devastating for anyone who financed during the peak. 7. Negative equity is everywhere. The average car owner in 2025 owes $7,200 more than their vehicle is worth. In some cases, that gap exceeds $10,000. This isn't just a problem for a few unlucky buyers. It's a widespread issue. It began when consumers bought overpriced vehicles during the pandemic and combined that with high-interest, long-term loans. As used car values plummet, these owners are now stuck. 6. Rental companies are flooding the market. Major rental car firms like Hertz and Avis are dumping their fleets at an unprecedented scale. Thousands of barely used cars are being released into the market at deep discounts. Why? Because these companies overstocked during the pandemic-era shortages. Now, with demand cooling and ride-sharing down, they're liquidating to cut losses. This sudden influx is putting enormous pressure on the used car market. These fleet vehicles, often in excellent condition with low mileage, are being sold for much less than similar dealer inventory. That disrupts resale values, shrinks dealer profit margins, and tanks trade-in prices. It's a tidal wave of inventory that's distorting the market in real time. The resale value collapse it triggers is bad news for individual owners. 5. Affordable cars are being phased out. Affordable vehicles are disappearing fast. Automakers are deliberately moving away from low-cost models in favor of high-margin SUVs, EVs, and luxury trims. In 2025, the Nissan Versa S is the only new car priced under $20,000 in the US, and that's for a manual version. Opting for an automatic pushes it to nearly $22,000, and it's rumored to be discontinued soon. Models like the Chevrolet Malibu and Mitsubishi Mirage are already gone. This leaves buyers with few economical choices. Even modest sedans now cost over $30,000. Why the shift? Budget vehicles aren't profitable enough, especially with growing safety and emissions regulations. That means working-class families and first-time buyers are left behind. Fourth, profit took priority over practicality. Automakers are no longer designing for everyday people. Instead of focusing on what drivers need, they're cramming vehicles with expensive features to justify higher prices. Massage seats, 23-inch screens, and semi-autonomous features have become standard, even in basic models. This has priced out countless buyers who just want a reliable, affordable car. The Toyota Corolla, once a budget commuter car, is now pushing $30,000. The Ford Maverick launched under $20,000. Now it's over $32,000. The Honda Civic, long favored by first-time drivers, has become a premium-priced vehicle. Automakers prioritized short-term profit and alienated their base in the process. 3. Consumer trust has been shattered. Years of dealer manipulation have eroded buyer confidence. During the pandemic, markups and forced fees became standard. Buyers were charged for unnecessary services, misled on loan terms, and upsold on worthless add-ons. These tactics created widespread frustration and a long memory among consumers. Dealerships prioritize short-term profits over long-term relationships, often pushing customers into predatory financing arrangements with high interest rates and hidden clauses. 2. Automakers are cutting production. Major companies are scaling back in a big way. Nissan has announced the closure of 7 plants and is cutting 20,000 jobs. Production is being paused in Japan and North America to address massive financial losses. Meanwhile, Stellantis is halting output in multiple countries and laying off hundreds of workers in the US. Ford and GM have also announced extended downtimes at key factories and reduced overtime for plant workers. Honda and Toyota, traditionally more stable, are beginning to scale back planned expansions due to slumping forecasts and weaker demand. 1. The EV bubble has burst. Electric vehicles once hailed as the future are now sitting unsold on dealer lots. Ford's Lightning and Mach-E have gone from waitlisted wonders to showroom fixtures collecting dust. Even generous incentives aren't moving them. Dealers are offering thousands off MSRP, and still, foot traffic remains low. Used Teslas are also seeing steep depreciation. Some Model 3s have lost over 30% of their value in just 1 year. Leasing options have also dried up as residual values plummet and banks become more cautious about financing EVs. And there you have it. 3 massive cracks in the foundation of today's auto industry. From the collapse of the EV hype to automakers slashing production and a total breakdown of consumer trust, it's clear we're not just in a slowdown. We're in a crisis. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth behind the headlines. We dig deeper so you can drive smarter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.